Nourishment of Regla Beach in Chipiona, southwest of Spain. Our acknowledge to the Ministry of Public Works, the Chipiona City Council and Drabosa for facilitating shooting of these images. Chipiona is a municipality of Cádiz province located in the mouth of the Guadalquivir River, which is known for its tourism, fishing and irrigated land-intensive agriculture, principally flowers. The town is traditionally a summer destination for tourists, and its lighthouse, which is 63 meters high, is the tallest in Spain. In comparison, Hercules in La Coruña is 50 meters high, while Palos in Murcia is just 40 meters. Before the Nourishment, other construction projects were completed by the Ministry of Public Works in this municipality, like the Promenade of Las Canteras, which was partially financed by the local municipality. Remodeling of the America Beach and the Nourishment of Regla and Las Canteras beaches have been achieved by recovering an area of the city that was once full of debris and turning it into a place which is widely used, full of color, and an example for other municipalities. The project. The central services of the projects of the Coastal General Directorate proceeded to the geophysical studies of the mouth of the Guadalquivir River. 3 possible deposits of sand to utilize in the nourishment of beaches were discovered. After verification of the first expectations using exploration techniques called Vibrocorer, they decided that the sands from the borrow-side pleasure of San Jacinto had the optimum sand grain size, containing bioclasts and other features. This pleasure, this borrow-side, is located in front of Doñana Natural Park, in an area recognized as a breeding ground for protected species. They proceeded to the mandatory study of biological impact, which was carried out by trawling through predetermined transects in order to sampling collection. Using statistical sampling techniques, the damage from the biological point of view was extrapolated and quantified. The study was completed with in situ visu surveys performed by biologists with scuba gear. The conclusions were that the extraction area, limited to a grid of 700 by 200 meters, was only 0.1% of the total enclosed area. The estimated amount of clam that would be lost was 784 kilograms. First stage. The project was divided into 2 stages. The first was the implementation of a groin, a breakwater perpendicular to the coast. This groin prevents the longitudinal transport that would carry sands to the mouth of the Guadalquivir River, where it would be very difficult for the sands to return to the beach. The groin, which is 300 meters in total length, maintains a horizontal slope at elevation plus 4.50 meters, decreasing in height to adapt to beach profile and diminishing visual barrier effect. Second stage, beach nourishment. The second phase began in July. 2 months later, the contractor provided a trailing suction hopper dredger, the Volvos Scaldia. Volvos Scaldia trailing suction hopper dredger has a hopper volume of 2,500 cubic meters. Its length is 81 meters, the suction pipe diameter is 0.8 meters, and the dredging depth is 25 meters. Installation of the pipeline. Steel pipes were 75 centimeters in diameter. Moreover, the pipes consisted of 350 meters auto-floating and another 1000 meters of welded pipes which would rest on the seabed. The pipes also have a hinge part in the different unions that advance as the beach field progresses. Crossing passes were enabled with the same sand over the pipe, which allowed the passage of users to the new beach areas reclaimed, without impeding the pace of work. Meanwhile, the citizens could enjoy the beach without problems. The period of the nourishment was 2 months and finished without incidents. Sand dredging, hopper salvaging, sampling, and quality control. We can appreciate the arrival of the dredger fully charged, with barely any freeboard and waves at deck level. Once the material is pumped ashore and the dredger has returned to the borrow side, the suction tube is lowered. The dredger proceeds to refill and water is evacuated, dragging a part of the finds. From the bridge, one person is able, thanks to the high technology, to graduate the speed of the dredge and the pump power to maximize the performance. Radar, sonar, and GPS differential track at all times, in graphic display and digital recording, the vessel position, the coastal position, and the state of the seabed. The work cycle is about 4 hours, one for charging, one for moving to the pouring point, one to pump, and one to return. Once the hopper is full, an appropriate representative of the Control and Management Administration and a representative of the contractor measure the depth of the sand along different points of the vessel. The comparison of the hopper blueprints allows us to determine the load volume, and a survey form is signed by both parts for counting and payment later. The responsible technician for monitoring stacks samples with a bambine spoon. These samples are then taken to the laboratory, dried, weighed, to obtain the granulometric characteristics. After an ocular inspection, the data are passed to a computer, which, after processing the results, continues with the printing and preparing the reports that daily are sent to the supervisor engineer. Beach nourishment. The total volume poured was 562,000 cubic meters. The process begins with the attachment of the floating pipeline in the figurehead prow of the dredge. The efficiency was up to 12,000 cubic meters per day, obtaining advances of 30 to 40 meters of beach per day, with an average of 350 cubic meters of sand per meter of beach. The sand is mixed with water in such a proportion that the solid material is not more than 20%. In this way, the pumps can work with the sand. The excess of water produces a quicksand phenomenon type. As a result, there are security measures such as fences, caution tapes, and security personnel monitoring at all times. The width of dry beach is 50 meters. Official aperture event. Scipione, one of the towns where most people prefer to spend their summer holidays, has regained the blue flag of the European Community for its beaches. This is the recognition for its clean waters and the services available to users. It's an example of what can be achieved through a team effort and an attitude of cooperation between the different authorities that participated in this event.